For centuries, philosophers, scientists and psychologists have debated one of the most disturbing questions of human nature: is evil innate or is it formed over time? The figure of the psychopath, because of his apparent emotional coldness and his tendency to manipulate or harm without remorse, represents one of the main axes of this discussion. But what does science say about this phenomenon today? What is really a psychopath? Psychopathy is a personality disorder characterized by a combination of traits such as lack of empathy, absence of guilt or remorse, superficial charm, constant manipulation, impulsivity, tendency to break social norms without feeling responsibility. Contrary to what many people think, not all psychopaths are criminals or murderers. Many of them live among us, adapted to everyday life, and can occupy positions of power such as businessmen, politicians or even doctors. They are people who, without the need for physical violence, manage to control and harm others emotionally or mentally. Genetics: are you born a psychopath? Numerous neuroscientific studies show that some people are born with brain alterations associated with psychopathy. Specifically, psychopaths tend to have smaller or underactive amygdala, which makes it difficult for them to process fear and other people's emotions. Dysfunctional prefrontal cortex, which regulates impulse control, moral judgment, and decision-making. Abnormal levels of dopamine and serotonin, which affect the ability to experience pleasure or control impulses. In addition, identical twin studies have shown that there is a strong heritable burden of psychopathic traits. It is estimated that up to 60% of the risk of developing psychopathy may be related to genetics. The environment: are they made that way? The other side of the coin is the impact of the environment. Social, emotional and family factors can be key in the development of psychopathy or antisocial behaviors. Some of these factors include childhood physical, emotional or sexual abuse, parental neglect or abandonment, lack of stable emotional ties, violent or criminal environments, early exposure to drugs or alcohol. In many cases, children with a genetic predisposition to develop psychopathy do not do so if they grow up in stable and loving environments. Conversely, children without a predisposition may manifest problematic behaviors if they are exposed to hostile contexts. Are they born or made? The double whammy theory: currently, the most widely accepted explanation is the biopsychosocial model, which suggests that both genes and environment contribute to the development of psychopathy. This theory, known as double whammy, posits: first hit, a biological or genetic predisposition, for example, brain differences or family history. Second shock, an unfavorable or traumatic environment that activates or enhances this predisposition. In other words, someone can be born with the spark, but it is the environment that can light the fire. Can a psychopath change? Changing a psychopath is not easy. Many do not feel they need help and therefore do not seek treatment. However, experts suggest that early intervention in childhood, before personality patterns are consolidated, is key. Emotional education, behavioral therapy, and secure bonding can reduce problem behaviors in youth with psychopathic traits. In adults, results are more limited, but therapy focused on impulse regulation, cognitive empathy, understanding emotions even if they are not felt, and self-control may help in certain cases. Historical and current examples. History is full of characters with obvious psychopathic traits. Some notable cases: Ted Bundy, American serial killer, charming and manipulative, who showed zero remorse. Adolf Hitler, his capacity for mass emotional manipulation, and his dehumanization of the enemy are analyzed through the prism of psychopathy. Millionaire swindlers, such as some CEOs or politicians, who cause massive damage without criminal consequences, also often exhibit psychopathic social behaviors. Conclusion: not everything is black and white. To say that someone is born bad is a dangerous simplification. The reality is much more complex. Extreme human behaviors are the result of a mixture of biological predisposition, environment and personal choices. Knowing more about psychopathy and its origin does not mean justifying the harm these people may cause, but rather understanding human behavior better and being able to intervene before it is too late.